Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be removing a Rockshox 35 Gold RL and installing a brand new Fox Factory 36 with the Grip 2 damper. Really excited for this, been waiting for it for a while. Let's have some fun, relax, grab a drink and some popcorn, and let's go install this thing. Here's some of the tools that we're going to be using for this build. I have the PVC pipe to help press the crown race onto the new fork. I have the razor blades to help remove the crown race from the old fork. Pipe cutters are for the steer tube, and the rest we'll get through as we go. It's going to be a little easier to do this job in a bike stand if you have one, but if not, you can always do it on the floor as well. Here's a little hack. Use a rubber band to keep your bolts together for your brake calipers. I figured I'd make my life a little easier by zip tying the stem with the handlebars to the frame of the bike, just to keep it out of the way and safe while I'm working on the front fork. Our next step, we're going to go ahead and disassemble the headset, and we're going to clean it up before we put it back together. I've removed all the bearings from the headset. I'm going to clean them and re-grease them before we put them back in a little later in the install. We're going to remove the crown race that you see here from this fork and reuse it on the new fork. We're going to do this by using some razor blades and patiently taking our time and being careful to avoid damaging anything on the old fork or the crown race. So this is when the razor blades come in handy. What we're going to do is put on some safety glasses and some gloves, and then we're going to tap in the razor blade between the crown race and the top of the fork on either side, and we're going to slowly and gently start to lift that crown race that has been press fit onto the fork. This may take about 10 or so razor blades to do it, and there is a proper tool to do this, although the cost of that tool for the one that actually works well is around $300. I don't see myself pulling too many crown races, so a trip to the hardware store and $6 later, we're going to use the razor blade method. Now is a great time to clean your headset. Go ahead and clean that old grease out and get ready to put some new grease in, like starting it brand new and fresh. Just adding a little grease to the crown steer before I slide down our crown race. And if you remember the beginning of the video, we were talking about a piece of PVC pipe, or at least you saw one. Well, it's 1.5" PVC with an 1.5" coupling on it. It just so happens it is the perfect size to help press fit that crown race back onto the crown steer. So we're going to do it by hand, and it'll seat itself just beautifully. Now that we've got that set, let's go ahead and start by sliding the new fork up into the bike so we can take our measurements and cut the steer tube down to the proper size. Put your stem and spacers on, make sure it's all nice and snug, then go ahead, take a blade to just score your steer tube. Once scored, we're going to measure back 2 to 3 millimeters towards the body of the fork to make our cut so we can have proper preload in our bearings. I'm using a set of pipe cutters on the mark that I made, and when you use the pipe cutters, you want to go around a couple times, then give her a quick, light little twist to add tension to the blade. You never want to add so much tension while you're spinning that it's going to egg the top of the steer tube. As long as you go slow and let the tool do its job, it'll give you a beautiful, nice, smooth cut edge. Once you're all done with your beautiful cut, you're going to go ahead and use a file and get the outside edges and the inside edges, get it nice and smooth so you don't get cut or little slivers, and it also helps to keep your stem safe. Okay, we're going to use the star nut setter tool to get the star nut into the steer tube. We're going to use our hammer to go ahead and hit the star nut into position. Finally, the moment we've been waiting for, when it all starts to come back together. Go ahead and put your headset bearings back together within the frame of the bike, the same way that they came out, but in an opposite direction. Get your spacers on, and put your new stem on. This is also one of the most awkward things to have to do. Hold the fork up, keep it from falling out while you put all the bearings in. As soon as you get that stem on though, you can tighten one bolt and it'll hold it all together for you. Okay, remember before when we put the rubber band on the brake caliper? Well, all the parts are still there. So it makes it a lot easier to put it all back together. You don't have to worry about what order it came in. Make sure to grease that axle before you slide it in. And go ahead and tighten her up until you get to the point where you put the quick release in and it will leave a little imprint in your hand. And then this is going to hold our brake line in position. It's pretty easy to cross thread this, so make sure to take your time and make sure you're going in straight. Once the axle is in, go ahead and take the bike back out of the stand. You're going to want to compress the front fork a couple times before you have to tighten this floating axle Allen key bolt. By doing this, you're allowing the axle to sit perfectly where it's supposed to be. Tighten it down, and you're done. Now it's time to stare at it. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have a great day. If you get a chance, go out, ride that bike, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.